Hey, what's up guys, I'm Chigs and I'm back with more full Android smartwatches. So I've been hunting the web for a real IP68 waterproof smartwatch which I can take with me swimming or in the shower. So I've come across this company, Microwear, and they specialize in all sorts of interesting smartwatches. So I went online and picked up two of their watches to have a look at. So here I have H1 and H2 full Android smartwatches. So let's begin with the specs. I'll put the specs on the screen so you guys can have a quick read. So as you can see, the specs are quite similar. Let's quickly go through them. The H1 has a 1.39 inch OLED screen, whereas the H2 has a 1.4 inch OLED screen. They both have the same resolution of 400 by 400. The H1 is IP68 waterproof up to 30 meters. So we will be testing that out and we're going to find out if that's true. The H2 is not waterproof. The CPU is slightly different. The H1 has a dual-core MediaTek CPU running at 1 GHz, and the other one has a quad-core MediaTek CPU also running at 1 GHz. The other differences are the RAM and storage. You can see that the H1 has 512 MB RAM and 4 GB of storage, whereas the H2 has 1 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage. They both have a 5 megapixel camera. Now that's going to be very interesting because I've not seen a smartwatch with a 5 megapixel camera before. They both have Bluetooth version 4, GPS and Wi-Fi. They both take 3G Nano SIM cards. You've got Android version 5.1, heart rate monitors and built-in pedometers. And the H1 has a 360 mAh battery and the other one has a 400 mAh battery. So this is everything you get in both boxes. You've got the H1 here and the H2. So let's begin with the H1. You've got a user manual. You've got a USB charger here with the magnetic pins on the end and a screwdriver for the SIM tray. And the H2, again, you've got a user manual, the charger, and here are the watches themselves. So this is what they look like if I peel off the stickers. They come already applied with the screen protectors, which is cool. So here are the actual smartwatches. You can see the differences in the design. They're very nice looking OLED screens. So you can see both watch designs are totally different. They're both made from stainless steel metal. I can feel stainless steel all the way around. So the build quality is the same. So the wrist straps are both silicone. This one is a bit more tough to bend and this one is very flexible. It seems like the H1 is designed for water, because you've got all of these holes here where water will just go through, and yeah, it does seem like it was specifically designed to be waterproof, and that is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so let's have a look at the buttons. So the H1's on top. So on the side we have a camera and one button, and on the H2 you've got a button, a camera and another button. So again, this is a 5 megapixel camera on both of these watches. And on the other side, the H1 has a SIM card tray on the side, and the H2 has nothing. There is a slot here, but you cannot put a micro SD card or a SIM card in there. It just appears to be a dummy, so I don't know why they put that there. So let's look underneath the watches. So here is the bottom of the device. You can see the SIM card tray for the H2 is at the bottom. They both got the pedometer and the heart rate monitors and the charger pins. So that's how they look. So here you can see the default watch faces. The brightness on both of these watches are halfway, so this is what you can expect. To change the watch faces, you just keep the center pressed and you'll be able to select a different watch face. So these are similar. I'll select these watch faces just to give you an idea of the brightness of the screen. The screen's brightness is halfway on both. Both screens actually look really nice. You're able to download more watch faces by hitting the plus sign. That option is only available on the H2 model. So there's no way of downloading extra watch faces on the H1 model. So these are the extra watch faces. Some of them do look quite familiar and there's loads to choose from. And they're quite quick and easy to download. So in this watch, the H1, there's no way of adding extra watch faces, but you do have quite a few watch faces to begin with. I believe you've got around 31 watch faces as default in the H1, and you have some really nice ones on both watches. That's really nice as well. Okay, so let's go through all the features beginning with the H1. If you swipe to the right, you've got direct access to all your activities such as walking, running, so any sort of sports and activities you're into, you're able to select the one you want to do. So say you want to run a marathon. So that's beginning. So that's going to give you all your information for half a marathon. It tells you how long it should take. If you're not ready to run, you can just slide it and it will pause. And then you can get on the track, start running, and it will carry on. Some great information there so you can track your health. So this is the first smartwatch that I've actually seen that has a dedicated sports section there. So that's pretty neat. So let's scroll back. So now we're back to the watch face. Let's scroll down from the top. And over here you'll see all your shortcuts, your quick toggles. And you've got all your options there, settings, aeroplane mode, Wi-Fi, and battery information. So let's come back out of this. So if you scroll up, you got again something that I haven't seen before in a smartwatch. You've got a built-in compass. How useful is that? If you keep going, you've got all your health stats again. So you've got a shortcut here for the heart rate monitor. It's on, the green light's on. Let's just quickly test it out. So that just shows you a current reading for your heart rate. If we keep on scrolling, you've got the weather information. What the hell is that? I got no idea what that's for. I'll have to read the instructions, or maybe one of you guys can tell me what that could be. But I think it's something to do with temperature. So if we scroll to the right, you can check your altitude here. So yeah, you've got some unique features in here which I haven't actually seen before in a smartwatch. Now let's scroll to the right. These are all your apps. We'll quickly go through them. You've got clock, settings, communications, web browser, tools, health. Here's the camera, and yes, there's 5 megapixels. We'll be testing that in a bit. You've got style or themes, watch mode, audio center, multimedia, Google Maps. So you can do turn-by-turn navigation with Google Maps on this. You can do voice searches. You've got the Google Play Store, which gives you access to the full store, and you can download pretty much any game or app. But do remember, you've only got 512 megabytes RAM, so don't expect to play the latest games on this. So the last two apps are Android Assist and iOS Assist. It's got basically, these are your Android apps. This will only work if you're connected to an Android phone. So you can do remote music, find a phone, lock phone, camera, communication, and fun fit. And if we go to iOS Assist, and these are the apps that will work if you're connected via Bluetooth to an iOS device: find phone, remote camera, and Bluetooth connection settings. So you can do more with this smartwatch if you connect to an Android device. So I've been told by the company that this watch is legit IP68 waterproof. I've already tested it in the shower and it definitely survived, but of course I was not able to video it. So now I'm going to briefly submerge this watch and we're going to see what happens. So let's take it out, give it a bit of a shake, and as you can see, the touchscreen works fine. I just had to dry my fingers a bit because you can't use it with wet hands. The touchscreen is still working absolutely fine and the watch is completely usable. Let's try giving it a wash under a tap. So as you can see, I'm just going to dab it dry in my hands. And the touchscreen should still be working absolutely fine. There you go. So this is completely IP68 waterproof. Okay, so now let's have a look at the H2. If you scroll to the right, you've got the notification section. If you scroll down from the top, you've got your quick toggles and your quick settings. Again, you can see it's medium brightness, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and you've got aeroplane mode, and you can access all of that, including the screen on and vibration. Over here, you've got a step counter or pedometer, and that is all you have in this upper section. If we go back to the watch face and scroll up, you've got weather information here, and that is that. Now, if we just swipe to the left, you can see all the apps on the system. If we quickly go through them, you've got contacts, phone, messaging, settings, web browser, calendar, clock, camera, yes, 5 megapixel camera, and we'll be testing that in a bit, gallery, music, sound recorder, file manager, health section, weather, voice search, Play Store, so you also got the full Play Store in here, so you can download any app or game. You got better specs in this watch. You've got a quad-core CPU and 1 GB of RAM and a bigger storage, so you can play more than basic games on this watch. You've also got Google Maps, so you can do turn-by-turn navigation with Google Navigation, and it works great. You've got connect to phone, calculator, remote capture, find my device, music control, and you can switch platforms. Switch platforms means if you connect via Bluetooth to an iPhone, you would choose iOS and Android and so on and so forth. Both of these smartwatches will take a Nano SIM card and work as a standalone smartphone. So you can make and receive phone calls, read and write text messages. The only thing you can't do is reply to notifications. You will receive a whole load of notifications for text messages, for WhatsApp, Snapchat, etc. But you can't actually reply to any of those messages, you can only read them. You have the option, however, to actually install Snapchat and WhatsApp directly on these watches and activate that. Then you can actually read, reply and do everything directly from the watch. So the options are there. They're both powerful watches. You've seen the difference in specs and how they look. The screens actually look really good. Now we're going to test out the cameras. So let's do a quick camera test. We're going to begin with the H1. If I open the camera app, I've got a game there and I'm going to take some pictures now. So aim and shoot. That's it, I've taken one shot. I'll take a couple. So you'll see the quality of this camera on the screen right now. So now we're going to test the camera out on the H2 model. So if we click on camera app, so the camera is 5 megapixels, so I'm expecting really good quality on this. That remains to be seen. You'll see the quality on the screen now for this watch. So there you have it, guys. That was the Microwear H1 and H2 smartwatches. So let's break it down. Here are my pros and cons for these smartwatches. So first of all, let's talk about the H1. I finally found a real waterproof smartwatch which can be used while swimming and diving. Unfortunately, this watch has low specs and gets laggy when trying to run certain apps and games. I found the H1 more useful as a standard watch with a SIM card installed, and it's also a great sports tracker and music player. The H2 was more powerful and had much better specs. This watch ran games and apps with no lag. You also had downloadable watch faces and the overall experience was fast and fluid. However, the H2 is not waterproof. Battery life was exactly the same on both watches. On light to medium usage you can get around 8 hours, and heavy use you will need the charger after around 2 to 3 hours. With that being said, I'll leave the links in the description so you guys can check this product out. Let me know in the comments which smartwatch you prefer. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you all have a brilliant day. See you in the next one.